Good afternoon, Hans. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, almost evening. We're chatting with you today regarding the upcoming court dates, which will happen next week, Monday to Wednesday, 15 to 17 May 2017. But before we get into that, for those of us who don't know what the case is about, can you give us a brief overview of what it's about?
The case was initiated in August of 2014, so it's 2.5 years ago, when we applied for an interdict to prevent public schools from doing or sticking to certain religious practices. Those practices are not because they are religious, but because they are done in a way that is not in line with the Constitution and the National Policy on Religion of 2003. So part of the misconception is that that's not the case. We want religion to be done and to be exercised in a way that is in line with the Constitution. The case did have an issue before that, though. My beef with school started in 2008 already, so it's 9 years almost. Since communicating, being in the press, trying to fight the cause, getting cold-shouldered, until we finally went to court with a gracious offer of pro bono from our advocates and attorney, which allowed us to take the case to court, and Monday is the big day.
Okay, perfect. Can you tell us where in the process we are now with this case? What's happened so far, what's going to happen on Monday, and what's going to happen in the future?
The initial was we started the case by applying for an interdict, which simply means we want the court to rule that certain practices at certain public schools are unconstitutional. And we listed 59 items that we thought were unconstitutional. They then had a certain period in which to indicate whether they would oppose or not, which they then did. They did oppose, and they immediately got funding from AfriForum to the tune of 2 million rand. They were supposed to reply within a certain period, which they overshot by a long margin, but that's fine. We accepted that because they wanted to do some research, etc. It was over the December holiday period, so their reply came only, if I remember right, in February 2015. We then had an opportunity to reply to that, which we did. They then replied further. You have an affidavit, and then a replying affidavit, and a summary affidavit, and what know you affidavit. In the meantime, also other parties came to the fore that said that they would want to be allowed as amici curiae, or friends of the court.
Yeah. And
there are a couple of them. Suid-Afrikaanse Onderwysunie, they applied initially, but since then has withdrawn. The Solidarity has asked to be admitted. The Council for the Advancement and Promotion of Religious Rights has stepped in the fray for, what's it called, Freedom of Religion South Africa, commonly known as FORSA. They are part to the proceedings. Who else is there? Of course, Justice in there. And more importantly, one that I'm very excited about is the Council for the Advancement of the South African Constitution, or CASAC. That is an organization comprised of attorneys and lawyers and even judges who feel that the Constitution needs to be imprinted on society, which I think is a great cause.
Yeah.
And they are also arguing strongly in favor of the case. So there's a whole bunch of parties involved. All the documentation has been done. We've had late application of another school governing body association. We've only received that in the last few weeks. FETSAs themselves, the Federation of South African School Governing Bodies, they are also part. And I believe the ACDP has thrown their weight behind someone as well. It's a whole plethora of parties. It's going to be exciting stuff. We're at the stage now when all the things have been done and the files have been set up, more than 3,000 pages already. 3 judges have been allocated a full bench, and the proceedings will then start on Monday morning, As far as I know, it's 10 o'clock that the case will start, probably. I don't know which specific court, but it is at the High Court of Gauteng South,
Yes.
which is Precedents Street of Johannesburg. I will certainly be there. The court doors only open at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
It seems to be quite interesting in the case, so it could fill up quickly. Those who want to participate or be involved, I think, try to turn up reasonably early. I will certainly be there from 9 o'clock already, and it's very exciting. Now, what happens thereafter, it depends on how quickly the judges give their verdict.
Yeah.
And again, that depends on how well the case goes. So if we consume all the time, the whole 3 days, there's a small chance that it may overrun and they're going to set a future date. I doubt if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
The case is not that intricate. They may hear all the arguments before the time is over and then come to a verdict and give the verdict the last day. Or they could say that they reserve the right to opinion. I can't remember what the real term is. So the proceedings will conclude and the verdict will only be given somewhat later. So that I can't predict.
Okay.
Once the verdict is given, the opposition will have 2 weeks to appeal. And knowing after forum and the people involved will most likely appeal the verdict because we expect the case to be largely in our favour, even if there are small details where we may differ on the interpretation of the laws. We don't foresee that this case will be in the favour of the opponents. So one could expect that 2 weeks later that they will appeal, and who knows, it may be driven right up to the Constitutional Court. If it was up to me, I would prefer that, because then once the highest court has given their judgment on what the Constitution says, then there's no more bickering and arguing about it. So
yes.
we'll see. Now, I started this case when my children were accepted in school. I had triplets, still have them. And they entered school in 2008, and hopefully I will have this case done and dusted before they leave school.
Yes. Okay. Are there any similar court cases that have happened in the past in South Africa that we can look at as an example of what to expect, or is this kind of something completely new in South Africa?
I'm not a legal expert, so I'm not the right person to ask.
Okay.
There have been some that I've seen. There was a case, for example, in Gauteng about a school who required pupils to tell them when they fall pregnant so that special arrangements could be made for them. And the verdict was that that's invasion of privacy. You can't ask a pupil whether she's pregnant or not. So that has a bearing in the sense that you can't ask a child whether he's a Christian or not. If he or she wants to divulge information, it's up to him, but you can't force him to do that. There was another one that was about corporal punishment, where the case was that some Christians in this case believed that corporal punishment is justified by the Bible. Therefore, they felt that in Christian schools, private schools, they should be allowed, and the ruling was against them. It said no, the Constitution overrides the Bible. So that's an important one. And there were various other cases. And if you actually read, there was an article in the Daily Maverick today, Friday, that had some references to other cases as well. So I would recommend that you read that.
Okay, great. So on Monday, what can our group, us as secularists, what can we do specifically to help you? And also in general, what can we do to help this case?
There are two main things. To do on Monday would simply be to show people that I'm not the only one in the whole of South Africa that's interested in this case. And the way to do that is to wear the OGOD t-shirts. Those have been printed, and we hope to have them available. We're just working out the logistics to have them available on Monday morning at the court. Now, I don't want to make it look like a bazaar, so I don't want to have a stall there dishing out t-shirts. We need to figure out how to do this in a professional way, I suppose.
Yes.
In the court itself, they expect, especially me, I will have to be well dressed. I can't wear my t-shirt as much as I would like to. Judges won't appreciate that.
Yeah.
But outside especially, I mean, even if you come with your normal clothes and just put a t-shirt over it, so that you could show people that there are more than one person in this world worried about this. Then afterwards, carry the message. The verdict will be in our favor. It will state that the schools currently are overstepping the boundaries. And so many people are too scared to come up and say that, or not fill in forms completely, etc., etc. Stop doing that, people. Be who you are. And if the school should discriminate against you, they will have hell to pay. So that's the second thing I want to ask you. Stand up for yourself. If you are in a community where you can't come out the closet, I understand that. Some people have family ties or work ties where they can't do that. But do the best of your ability. You don't have to say you're an atheist. All you need to say is that the schools are overstepping the boundaries in terms of religion. And fight for your rights. You have them. Those are your rights. Show them.
Okay. Do you know if a demonstration or gathering is intended by the forces of evil?
You're talking about me.
No.
You laugh. I've been called, I smell of Satan, and I don't know, I'm the Antichrist, and I've been called many names, which all is water off a duck's back. I don't know of any protest or marches. For that to happen, one needs to apply to the municipality for leave to do that. And as far as I know, that hasn't been done. We could be surprised, I don't know. So don't pitch up there with placards and things. You know, if you wear a t-shirt showing your support, that's one thing. But if you start toying and getting people to fly placards around, that's something completely different.
Okay.
In cases in America, we've seen that people get shot and killed on the court steps. So hopefully that won't die, and that won't happen to me. But if it does, will somebody please just look after my cat?
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to say thank you for your time, and we will see you on Monday at 9 o'clock in front of the Johannesburg High Court or the South Gauteng High Court. And best of luck to you.
Great. I must say that I've been offered graciously accommodation at the Blue Mango Lodge in Kempton Park, so perhaps on Monday or Tuesday evening, if people want to get together, have a beer there, something, and talk about the good old days of Christian national education, that would be a good idea to do. I want to have transport, but come around and chat about that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Hans. Have a good evening.
Jani.
All right, bye.